What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Thomas Gallery, and I think you all know who this is, but in case some of you don't, this is Professor Dr. Neil Degrasse Tyson. He runs the Hayden Planetarium in New York City, the Rose Center for the Hayden Planetarium, to be exact. He is excuse me, he is an astrophysicist or astronomer, how you want to call it. He is a lecturer, professor. He is a science communicator, and I believe, yeah. And when I did the video on Carl Sagan, which is actually one of his mentors. I did the drawing on Carl Sagan. I explained what a science communicator was, and he is, in my opinion, the best at communicating. Neil deGrasse Tyson, is the best at communicating the importance of science. Now, for those who don't know, I'll explain to you once again what that is. A science communicator is someone who speaks on the importance and significance of science, and they explain it in a way that you don't have to be a trained scientist to understand what is being said. And I believe Neil deGrasse Tyson is the best at doing that. I've listened to many of his lectures. I've seen him on interviews, and he'll go on shows that are generally meant for people of entertainment, of sports entertainment, music, things of that nature, Hollywood type, And when he is on those particular stations or shows, he would get asked questions about certain things in the universe, because that's like he said, that's his backyard, the universe, quite a big backyard. And he'll explain things in such a way that no matter what your background is, you understood what he said, and it gives you the impression well, I could be an astrophysicist, I could be a scientist, because he explains it so well that anybody can understand this. And also, he is known. He really gained a lot of popularity through his Twitter account, which I follow also, and you all should as well. Because what he's famous for doing is he's famous for scientifically explaining the phenomena of everyday life. For instance, I believe it was Christmas, December 25th. I forgot what year, and he put a comment on his Twitter saying that, on December 25th, a baby was born when by the age of 30 he would change the world. Happy birthday, Isaac Newton. He gave his birthday. Now, that created a huge uproar because everybody thought that he was talking about the birth of Jesus. Even though it does not say in the Bible when he was born, it does not say December 25th. Because during that time, December would have been the 10th month. That's why it's called December, D-E-C, not the 12th month. Anyway. So when that comment went out from his account, the whole internet was set ablaze by it, because people got the impression that he was being disrespectful. Well, people who understood, people who were aware, knew that there was no disrespect to it. But many of the Christian population, especially of this country, not really the world, but especially of this country, got up in arms about it, and they were affected and offended by what he said, and all that stuff. But the thing is, as upset as they were, they can't say it wasn't true, because in fact it was. Anybody know about Isaac Newton? Know about the date of his birth and all that stuff, and the things he contributed to the world, that he has changed the world. That is true. That's just a fact. You don't have to like it. That don't mean you not liking something don't mean it's not true. But anyway, he's known for that. What he's also known for is you know, kind of, I would say, scientifically deciphering movies. Like, he'll look at a movie and he would check out the scientific basis for that movie, especially if it is acclaimed for its quote unquote accuracy. And what he would do is he'll go, and if he sees something that is scientifically incorrect, he would point it out. And I remember there was like a big hoopla about the movie Titanic, the James Cameron movie Titanic. And he's explained this story plenty of times, and it's funny every time I hear it. But he explains how, when you look up at the night sky, that, since how we know the date, the time, all that stuff about when the Titanic sank, we know when it sank, we know where it sank, we know what time of day, what time of night it was actually. We knew all of that. And for the director, James Cameron, to not get, he got everything right. He got like the inside of the Titanic correct and all that stuff, but he did not get the stars correct. That put Neil deGrasse Tyson in a frenzy. So he said that he confronted James Cameron and spoke to him about it, and had like an on and off again little tit for tat thing going on. And of course, later on, the mistake was corrected, and all was well. But that went everywhere. And then, not really then, but the most famous piece of controversy with Neil deGrasse Tyson is the demotion of Pluto. Many of us grew up saying that there were 9 planets, from Mercury all the way to Pluto. And maybe like 10 years ago, I believe, it was decided that Pluto should be demoted because of the criteria that was set for what was a planet changed over the years. And if you understand the whole history about planets and stuff and what it actually means, then you will see how this was affected. The word planet, I did a video about this actually, about in my one of my little astronomy videos about planets in the solar system and all that. And I explained how back then, like thousands of years ago, the ancient Greeks would look up in the sky and see objects wandering in the sky. And the Greek word for wanderer was planetus. It meant wanderer. Things just moved around aimlessly in the night sky. Stars, moon, planet, all that stuff, because one of the original planets was the moon. So over the years, over the millennia, with science advancing the way it is, we had to really think about, we as in humans, on the scientific community, which I say I'm a part of. I'm not a trained scientist, but I consider myself a part of the scientific community. We had to really decide, once and for all, are we really going to go along with calling things certain names, even though with the technology advancing as it has, we had to think about, well, just because we say something doesn't actually mean that it is. And there was a big conference and all that stuff, and it was just decided that Pluto should not be a planet because there's certain criteria that the things that we consider planets follow that Pluto does not follow. And it was like, one, I remember him saying this: one, does the object clear its surrounding space? Pluto does not. Is it round? Yes, it's round. What is it? What else was it? It has a certain size, because Pluto has a smaller mass than our moon. Our moon that we see in the sky every night and every day is larger than Pluto. So if Pluto is smaller than our moon, and our moon isn't a planet, then Pluto shouldn't be a planet either. So they said, okay, well, there's some other stuff around surrounding Pluto that we can group it with, and that was the Kuiper Belt. The Kuiper Belt is the group of comets and icy bodies that are on the outer part of our solar system. So, okay, we just put it in with that. All right, and they call it, a Plutoid. It's round and all that stuff, but it does not quite. It doesn't quite meet the full criteria of what it means to be a planet. And he was part of the committee that decided that. He was not officially the one that said, okay, this is no longer be a planet. But he was one of the members that spoke about it. And they got an uproar. Even to this day, people still fuss over if Pluto is a planet and blah 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 and all that stuff. And like, if you're going to consider Pluto a planet, then make our moon a planet like it was thousands of years ago. Simple as that. But it's not, so get over it. Get over it. Anyway. No, he did that, and plus, let's say he's the director of the Hayden Planetarium in New York. It's come out pretty good. And he also did something called the cosmic perspective. The same thing how with Carl Sagan had something called cosmic perspective. He did too, Neil deGrasse Tyson. And he really explained his thing with the star stuff. He was explaining how everything that is in the universe is a part of us. That we are literally made of stardust or star stuff, whatever you want to call it. That the same things that come from exploding stars coalesce and come together and make up solar systems and other planets and other stars, and which come together and make us. That we are literally, quite literally, star stuff. We are literally children of the stars. It's not an exaggeration, because if you take all the ingredients that make that are in the universe, and then you take all the ingredients that make up human beings or make up life, it's the same. It's the same. Humans have water, H2O. The universe has H2O, hydrogen, oxygen. Humans breathe air, which is 78% nitrogen. It's nitrogen in the universe. Humans, complex life is carbon-based. Carbon is abundant in the universe. So there's no stretch to say that we are literally made from stars. It's not an exaggeration. That is an actual fact. If all the elements came from stars, and we are made up of those elements, then the natural answer would be, then yes, we are literally children of the stars. And Neil deGrasse Tyson, better than anyone I've ever heard, he explained that so eloquently that it almost sounded like a sermon, like a scientific sermon. That's what it was. It's like a scientific sermon he gave when he spoke that, and it's very moving when he explains it, because you can tell that he really feels it. People talk, they try to motivate you, but the way they presenting it doesn't really get you juices flowing. When he explains it, you get the sense that this man thoroughly feels this. Like, this ain't no joke with him. Like he really really is in love with the universe. Like he always says, I didn't choose the universe chose me. When he talks about the story how the moment he fell in love with the universe, he was 9 years old. He went to the Hayden Planetarium as a child, and he went to the planetarium, and he sees the the image of the sky of the universe, and he doesn't believe that that is real because him being from New York, Bronx, New York, where there's a bunch of buildings, there's a bunch of tall skyscrapers and stuff, and there's not really a way to see a lot of the stars. So he says he goes on a family trip with his on a family trip to to the mountains, and when he looks up, he goes on a high mountain with his family. He looks up and he sees the night sky for the first time with all the stars out, and he said it looks like they hit him. He thought it was a joke, like it was in the Hidden Planetarium. And he said from that moment forward, you asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up. He told you, "I want to be an astrophysicist." Like he said that when he was 9 years old. I said, "What you want to be when you grow up?" He said flat out, straight up, "I want to be an astrophysicist." They like simple, point blank, ain't nothing else to talk about. Like that's where I am. That's what I want to do. The universe called, like the universe called me. It chose me to do this, and I want to be an astrophysicist. He said it went until he became the age of 11, where he realized that he could make a career out of it. But you ask him at any point in time what you want to be, he told you flat out, astrophysicist, and everything he did was towards that goal. He didn't have an example of some. He said there were no black astrophysicists from the Bronx, so he could look up to and say, okay, I have an example. He didn't have that. He just knew that like the universe hit me so hard that I gotta answer the call. I gotta go. And he did. He went through all the paths. He met with Carl Sagan, who really gave him an extra push to follow his dreams. And years later, he is a world-renowned astrophysicist. He's an author, lecturer, celebrity. He's a celebrity. He actually made science cool. He and Bill Nye are responsible for making science cool again. Because used to be a time where people who love science were the nerd geeks, and they say they were nerds, but he made it cool for everybody to be in love with science. Let's see. So I'm almost done with this. Almost done with this. But yeah. The things that he speaks about, I was familiar with because I'm an inquisitive individual. Granted, I don't know as much as he knows because that's his actual job to know these things. So of course I'm not going to know as much as he. But what I like about it is he helps people of all walks of life understand the simplest things, and that is very important. You have to have the ability to make the most complex ideas so simple that a child can grasp it and understand it is very, very important. Not many people can do that. Not many people have the ability to communicate the importance of science or a simple idea as the general theory of relativity. Not many people can explain that in a way where you don't feel like you are stupid. That's a gift. That's a gift. That means that you understand the knowledge so well and you have, brought it down to the level of a child where anyone, including a child, can understand it. That's special. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Neil Degrasse Tyson. Thank you all for watching this video. Leave a comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will catch you all later. Peace.